Hey guys, it's Parker here, back with part 7 of the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. So right now we're looking at the evidence that was like in under the floor with Gregson. Looks like this was cut out of a paper about 3 months ago. It's about a convict got sick and died while he was serving time up in Manchester. How terrible. It made the headlines down near London as well. The block had been sentenced to death, you see, but nature got him first. Oh my goodness. Whoops. He committed a capital offense? Man by the name of Selden. Nasty piece of work into burglaries and murder. They see the hoard he knocked that was worth about £1,000. A hoard of treasure, you mean? Jewelry and the like, but hidden somewhere no one knows there. Now he's dead. The papers loved it, of course. £1,000 lost en route to hell, or some such was the headline. Does it not strike you, though? Why such an article would be so carefully ensconced under the floor? I suppose now you mention it, it does seem a bit odd. Perhaps I'll go over the paperwork we got on Selden back at the yard and see if I can turn anything up. Okay. I'm wondering if we could examine it further. Announced the deaths of convicted murder and burglar Selden by natural causes in the early hours this morning. He had been suffering a fever since the end of October. Alerted by the shouts of his fellow cellmate, medical staff arrived to find him already dead before his capital punishment could be carried out. Damn. So this photograph I found looks reasonably recent to me. Dude, it's Miss Green's boyfriend and Mr. Gardev. Yes, it appeared to have been taken on the street in front of the house here. And the gentleman on the left was Mr. Gardev, the landlord, of course. But who's the young man on the right? Mr. Gardev's son, perhaps? No, it's Miss Green's boyfriend. Perhaps you could take that print if you like. Really? Are you sure? We can presume, therefore, that the art already knows. The identity of the young fellow, that is. Duh, is that true? I mean, like, his picture was in front of, was in Miss Green's room. Yeah, and he had a ring on his left hand. All the more reason I'm not telling you. A dismal failure! Yes, I heard. Okay. Mr. Shamspeare himself isn't in it. Huh, so maybe Shamspeare's like connected to Miss Green. I mean, they were seen having a conversation with each other and it didn't look like a pretty nice conversation. Huh. I see. And he's a painter, so the Miss Green and him probably met at the art academy. Now, this tin box looks interesting, doesn't it? Might I suggest, Inspector, that you open it? If we were to find something inside that reveals the truth behind this case, I wouldn't be the least surprised. Yeah, funnily enough, I already had look. It's completely empty. What? Shakespeare, give us a clue, man! You didn't even have the chance to utter a word, Miss Naruhodo. But anyway, at least you found out what was inside the box. Yes, thin air. Haha, get it? Tin box? Thin air? It's empty, rather like how I feel inside. Mood. Is there nothing more to this box then, I wonder? Wakahai! Oh look, it's a lovely little kitty cat! Wakahai! It's Mr. Natsume, isn't it? I don't think I've ever asked him actually. Why don't we call it Wakahai? You know, like Mr. Natsume refers to himself in Japanese. I wonder why he got here. Clever cat. Oh wonderful, well done Wakahai. Here's something delicious I brought for you from the cat's meat man. Wakahai! Yeah! Wakahai's the best character. Look at him eat the food. Aww. Aww. couldn't be happier now, look. I just hope it could bring some happiness to his owner, too. Can we? It's so cute! Oh my god! Stretch! Stretch! That was a cheeky little meow, Wagahai. Oh, but he's so adorable. I could sit and watch him forever. I think he may not appreciate that after all. I have an investigation to get back to. Okay, bye, Wagahai. Gotta tell him about his cat. Oh, Mr. Natsume is back. So he is. Mr. Natsume, hello. I'm a cat. Sorry? I don't know who Mr. Natsume is, or her elections. I don't know about courts or trials or Old Baileys. I am a cat. That's what I am. Just a cat. Mr. Naruhodo is trying to escape from reality. Snap him out of it. Trying to. He already has. Completely. So, what is your name then? That's it. I have no name. Mr. Naruhodo, he hasn't fully thought of his new identity yet. Maybe it's not too late to bring you back to reality. Do you think you could open your eyes for us, Mr. Natsume? I'm not a cat. It worked! He's back in the real world! What's going to become of me? No! Don't answer that, it's obvious! My accursed soul is never going to escape this accursed fate! Mr. Natsume, no, this morning's proceedings in court proved that there's hope. Yes, welcome student. Mr. Naruhodo Squire is brilliant, but the raper is not only present in court in my lodgings! Here, there, everywhere! What's he looking straight at me for? I think perhaps there are some things we should discuss. Oh, yes, we must. Alright, let's talk. In my whole life, have I ever been so moved as I was today? No. Of course, if I cast my mind back, there were perhaps one or two occasions that would be more. But if I just blocked those out, today being at court was. It was the most moving experience of my life. My welcome student, Miss Naruhodo Squire. You're too kind. Skull and Yar found the remaining tea, just as we deduced, and are analyzing it as we speak. There's nothing wrong with that tea. They won't find if a drop of poison in it. That's a Solemn, Sorn, Soseki, Certainty. Tell me, did you both drink the tea at the same time that night? Oh yes, most definitely. Remember, drink tea while it's hot. We both poured it down our throats so it was hot baths for our bellies. And at this time, you were both completely fine. As shown by the fact that he and Mr. Shamspeare engaged in the Romeo and Juliet match, I suppose the focus of tomorrow's proceedings will be how the poison was taken by the victim then. The rotten Shamspeare, what have I ever done to him? You don't recall him taking issue with you over anything you've done recently? I've been holed up in my room, immersed in books. I don't recall anything. Anything at all! Right. But what I don't understand is why you didn't let me know sooner. Well, you know what, Mr. Natsume? About the Sobo course, what else? Oh dear. Are you struggling with such a meager stipend? Of course I am. If I had money, I wouldn't have chosen to live in a cursed existence in such accursed lodgings. Oh yes, you said it's because the place is cursed that it's so cheap, didn't you? Exactly, especially the room that I rent. The spirit that capital offender lived there still haunts the place and is trying to kill me! Capital offender? Might I ask, local student Miss Naruhodo Esquire, that the next time you visit me, you bring scores of super soft soaps. I wonder if we could present this then, because he seems to know about it. What's this? What's this? It's a newspaper cutting that we found in Mr. Shamspeare's room. Ah, so he knew, did he? Sorry? About the man. This man, Selden. A convicted killer. And the evil spirit behind the curse that affects my lodgings! What? He's already taken one young man's life, and now he's trying to take the life of another, a miserable, mustache, much malign Japanese man. Mr. Natsume, if you know something, please, you must tell us. Tell us everything you can about this evil spirit. Capital offender is Selden. The truth is, I didn't know the details myself until very recently. That Selden man was arrested about a year ago now, and at the time he was hiding in lodgings at Mr. Gardo's house. What? He lived where you do now? That's right, yes, exactly where I live now, in my very room. Oh my, your room was previously occupied by a criminal found guilty, yes. But before his sentence could be carried out, he died in prison. That was 3 months ago now. And that's when it started. The curse. What really is this curse you keep mentioning, Mr. Natsume? It's already caused 1 death. A few months after the criminal passed away in prison, a man died in the room. The man who rented out to Selden, in fact. The poor lodger, he was found dead in mysterious circumstances. The room was locked from the inside. Locked from the inside? Exactly like the case we're dealing with now. So that's the convict's curse, is it? Yes, well, that was the start of it. Do you have any idea how the lodger before you passed away, Mr. Natsume? The official cause of death is asphyxia. When they discovered the body, the room was full of gas? Gas? Only found out after I signed a lease. When Mr. Garda came to tell me later, I couldn't stop myself trembling. In fact, if I'd known beforehand, I'd probably have been too scared to take the room. Landlord's lease, luckily legal. Lucky for Mr. Garda, maybe, but not so lucky for poor Mr. Natsume. And now you believe this curse is affecting you? It is, at first. I just felt as though I was being watched all the time. Maybe there was someone in the room, and then y'all couldn't find that person in the room. And then you talked about having nightmares, didn't you? The dead are trying to take me with them. They could come for me and try to suffocate me. Just when I'm struggling to breathe, I wake up, and the room is as cold as ice. Maybe that person in the room that nobody could find is trying to kill the occupants that is in that room. But for some reason, even though I light the stove before I climb to bed at night, the pilot light always goes out and the room fills with gas. But that's terrible. That's exactly the same situation as what led to the previous occupant's death. And then there's what happened to Mr. Shamspeare last night when he was mysteriously poisoned. There's clearly more to that incident that can be explained by a curse though. Whatever can be the cause of all these strange happenings in Mr. Garda's rooms, there's a person in there. How can you explain all this then? Oh, you're here now, Mr. Garda. Right, Valley businesses for you know, getting out and about. Were you at the Old Bailey by any chance? Naturally, fate of my lodgings hanging in the balance law that I tried to miss. The fate of what's already been dubbed your haunted lodgings, yes. Of course, the place has caused quite a stir around the capital more than one occasion already. That's the old haunted lodgings or some such. Well, at least he knows. Makes you wonder what the place is going on, don't you know? Yes, I'm sure it does. In fact, thinking back to Mr. Natsu's other charges 2 days ago. You're at the Old Bailey den as well, weren't you? Testifying with your wife about what happened. Stopped off at the prison on the way home, in fact. Beastly business. I see. So what brings you to my haunted abode today, eh? We would like to talk with you. Some fishy fellow from the Far East and a failed actor chap of questionable character, eh? Yes, the house does seem to have become something of a magnet for rum fellows of late. Thanks to that bally curse. The convict's curse, you mean? Ah, heard the stories, have you? Rotten scoundrel was arrested here, then the next chap in the room goes and keels over. Then there's a woman who dropped dead just beside the street, not to mention the actor yesterday. Am I next there? Well, can't help but get the collywobbles, can you? I've never heard of the word collywobbles before, but that is a word, I guess. When you say the woman was dropped dead outside the street, do you mean Miss Green? Because Miss Green was stabbed by the knife, Mr. Shamspeare was poisoned last night, are both very much alive still. Yes, well, so is the blasted convict's curse, it seems. Personally, I should be quite content with such lodgings. A bath, a toilet, a fireplace, a fascinating history. Why, so say the lap of luxury. I'm not so sure about that. Well, there's no bath or toilet included, and no fireplace either. Where do you guys wash? But you do look out for attendants, don't you? By watching the rise and fall of the flames in your gas lamps up here. Yes, never hurts to keep an eye on things in case there are any mishaps or such like. I think you've had your mishap already, sir. That's not helpful, Mr. Sholmes. Heaven forgive me, the words just came to my lips. There's no need for that, Mr. Gardo. That's right, Mr. Natsume is in no way fishy. He is undeniably peculiar, however. Is it right that he took the vacancy immediately after the previous tenant passed away? Yes, that's right. I asked the estate agent to find someone and he popped up the very same day. Never come across a chap so keen for a place with a background, as it were. I don't think Ozuru's background is keen on it so much as cheap rent, actually. So, how long is Mr. Shamspeare lodging under the roof? The failure actor chap? Well, let me see. Oh, of course. Yes, it's been 3 months now, quite sure of it. Only 3 months? He's quite new here too then. And to what do you own your certainty in that regard, Mr. Gardo, if I might ask? Well, it was a Selden scoundrel as it happens. Selden? The convict, you mean? Do Selden and Shamspeare have some kind of connection then? That convict chap, Selden, passed away in the clink 3 months ago now. He sees some malady or another. Yes, we've seen the report for the newspaper time. Well, it was only 3 days later that the tragedian showed his face, the actor fellow. Really? Yes, I remember quite distinctly. 'Tis small, this world we inhabit. Purdy, landlord, hear my request. I, the humble Shamspeare, do desire to take that room on the middle floor offered erewhile for rent. Terribly sorry one now, but that won't be possible. I already have a lodger in the middle floor. Ground floor room's vacant though. Nothing can be made out of nothing. Let me repeat mine in will unto thee. This course must be muffling your ears. The room on the middle floor is taken. It's ground floor or nothing. Very well, we have an accord. Glad to hear it. Welcome to Be Our World. Lo, a chance for death to celebrate. God, he's so weird. From what I heard in court today, sounds like the chap was steaming gas. And he was 3 months in arrears with the rent too. Yes, the fellow was a ballet player, alright. Thank you for your counter, Mr. Gardo. We are most grateful. By way of appreciation, allow me to say 1 or 2 words. Give me my robe! Put on my crown! I have immortal longings in me. What's happened to you? Shakespeare, my dear fellow, one of his most famous lines. I wish to divulge my own learning of the subject, for I have a turn for literature too, you know. Perhaps you could turn your attention to more apt lines then. Okay, I would like to present the tenant that was in your apartment. Mr. Gardo, could I ask you to look at this photograph? Is that your son who's with you there? No, not at all. He's a lodger here once. Duncan Ross is his name. Duncan Ross. A street photographer happened to be passing, so I asked him to take a shot, just for kicks really. Was he by any chance the lodger before Mr. Natsume? Yes, that's right. The young gentleman died in the room in mysterious circumstances. Just what Mr. Mustache is waiting for, one might say. Yes, young Duncan lived in the room at the top of the first flight of stairs before that Japanese chap. Would you mind telling us a little more about him? The lodger's desk. Yes, Duncan Ross. Young chap was attending art school, had to work to pay for it, mind. Moved into a middle floor room about a year ago, after the criminal Selden was arrested. Young students are always on the hunt for rooms with history behind them. A history cheap rent, maybe, yes. But, well, anyway, it was one morning about a month ago now. Hadn't quite worked out the old trick of watching the gas lamp to see what my lodger's up to at the time. So sadly, I was rather tardy to discover what had happened. The smell of gas that alerted me it was. Ah yes, synonymous with the smell of death. Called the police straight away, of course, and the officer kicked the door off its hinges. But once he got outside, we all badly collapsed. Because of the gas? Yes, the room was full of it, no air at all. Soap must have gone on while the old poor chap was sleeping in his bed. So Mr. Ross suffocated to death. Of course, the police gave me a sound ticking off because the gas pipes were so old and all that. Can't tell you how much it set me back to have the lot replaced all over the house. But even after all, you had all that work done, Mr. Natsume says the same thing. That the stove goes out at night while he's asleep in bed. Well, that's the Bally curse, the convict's curse. I've done my duty as a landlord now. I don't know, I don't think you're taking, like, responsibility for what happened. Someone's feeling defensive, like you're not really doing anything when the stove, like, goes off. Like, turns off, during the night. That's not natural. Ah, that reminds me, actually. Yes? About young Duncan. The night before the poor chap perished, he'd been writing a letter. A letter of affection to a young lady. A love letter, you mean? Yes, where did I put it now? Ah, here it is. Left on my desk. If you'll excuse me, let me see now. What does it say? To my most beautiful and charming sweetheart. Do you think we should be reading such a personal piece of correspondence? My dear Mrs. Sato, that's precisely why I preface my reading with, if you'll excuse me. I will not excuse Mr. Sholmes, no. Sadly, he didn't address it though, so I had no means of delivering the thing. Rather sad, really. I see. That's going to play on my mind. But really, the identity of Mr. Ross's sweetheart has no bearing on the case. I think we should leave well alone. Yes, I suppose you're right. Indeed, the attendant recipient's address is missing, however. There's a name attributed to the man's most beautiful and charming sweetheart. Mr. Sholmes, please, I've already had to chastise you about this once. My undying love to you, my colorful darling, olive green. Olive green? Green olive? Doing this punch into a coma after night punching her back outside this house 5 days ago. Yep. It's Naruhodo, whatever could this mean? Reading personal correspondence can't have its merits, you see, Mrs. Sato. That doesn't excuse it for reading someone else's letter. Well, I guess that's it. I guess they're going to Miss Green. Like, your lover sent you a letter, and, Miss Naruhodo, I just finished speaking with the doctor. It seems Miss Green is well enough to be discharged at last. This is good news. What is it? Miss Green. What? What was that? She clearly just hid something behind her back. What? One moment, I'll be with you in a jiffy. Oh, hello everyone. What are you all doing here? The doctor said I can be discharged, so I'm just getting my things together. Miss Green, what are you just doing? Oh, nothing really. Are you sure? I was just about to take some medicine the doctor prescribed to me, that's all. Well, we're hoping to have some, another quick chat with you, if that's alright. I don't really have anything else to tell you. Alright, she's definitely behaving strangely. Let's see if we can't coax something out of her. Miss Green, we're hoping to ask you about someone. Mr. Duncan Ross, you knew him, didn't you? What? Oh no, I'm so sorry. The bottle of medicine fell down when she did. Oh, Miss Green, are you alright? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to startle you like that. No, it's alright. I just wasn't expecting it. But how did you know about Duncan? Mr. Ross had been writing a letter when he passed away. The letter found in his room. It was a very personal letter to you. It was at the art school. That's where I met Duncan a year ago now. He was working to fund his studies. He dreamt of becoming a professional artist one day. And the two became romantically involved. Yes, that's right. We were very much in love. We were engaged to be married actually. That's why I decided to move to a cheaper room to save money for the wedding. And that's what led him to Mr. Gardo's. Yes, he told me he found the worst but cheapest room in the entire East End. And then 1 month ago, that's when it happened. We're so terribly sorry, Miss Green. Well, it's all in the past now, I suppose. Poor Miss Green, she looks desperately sad. I was starting to think that's just her look. But now I see that she has every reason to feel the universe is against her. Oh boy. It's wonderful news that you're gonna be discharged, Miss Green. Oh yes, I mean, thank you. Once people are better, the hostel staff don't want them lingering, wasting space. Not people like me anyway. So I don't think I should keep anyone waiting. I probably shouldn't stand around and chat. She certainly does seem in the mood to talk, that's for sure. I do hope you won't think I'm being rude, but would you mind leaving me in peace now? I have to leave the hostel soon. Oh, I'm so sorry. We don't mean to hold you up. Of course, to be on with Mr. Naruto. The freaking mouse died on the floor over there. Oh my. What? Mr. Schultz, I didn't realize you were here. But of course I was, my dear fellow. Watching telly from the shadows as always. The poor mouse over there. Well, make your presence known next time. Oh no. Mr. Schultz, what's this about? The mouse? Something which occurs to me some regularity, Mr. Sato, is this. Why did detectives insist on such ex post facto modus operandi? Why solve a case after this happened, instead of preventing a case before it happens? This is what sets a great detective apart. What do you mean? There's the case waiting to happen under our very noses, Mr. Naruto. So let us avert disaster. Let us prevent this case from ever happening, with nothing but careful observation. Oh, alright. All the clues you need are set before you. You need only look, and you cannot fail to see. Like that dead mouse on the floor. You can do it, Mr. Naruto. I know you can. That mouse seems to be dead. Look, I didn't notice it there before, did you? I think perhaps it drank the medicine that spilled out the bottle. But that's the bottle that Miss Green is about to drink from when we arrived. You don't think... Ah, I see you can't appreciate the true nature of the scene. That epic tragedy about to take place. Yes, I think it's falling into place. Miss Green, the contents of the bottle you had before has spilled out onto the floor, and the poor mouse that drank it sadly died. Ah! I think it's clear that the bottle must have contained a powerful poison. Don't worry, I'll attend to the mouse presently. Miss Green, were you intending to go the same way as that rodent? To take your own life? Ah! Once you left, you would have put it to your lips again, would you? And taken the poison? No! Miss Green, please talk to us. Oh boy. Oh. This is such Oh gosh. Heavy topic. I mean, when you first arrived, Miss Green is standing with it in her hand. What can we describe as a very tense atmosphere? Yes, it may very well be related to whatever incident Mr. Jones believes is about to happen here. Perhaps we should ask Miss Green about it. Okay. Let's talk. Ten seconds later, and we would arrive at a very different scene here. In all probability, we would not have enjoyed this most delightful conversation. Of course, perhaps it hasn't been quite so delightful from your perspective, Miss Green. Actually, in a way, now that everything's out and open, I feel like a weight has been lifted. Tell me, how did you acquire that medicine? Well, with this being a hospital and all, when the doctor comes to examine me in the mornings, he always leaves the medicine cabinet open for a while, so I snuck this out when he wasn't looking. It conspicuously lacks the label. I wonder what it contains. I'm afraid I don't really know, but I thought if I drink it, it might just stop the pain somehow. Oh please, Miss Green, don't talk of such things. Well, it seems clear now that it contains poison. Yes, the poor little mouse is proof of that. Oh no, oh, it's all my fault. What have I done? I should remove this to my office, Miss Green. I take it you have no objection? No, none. Oh boy. Neither the sender's name or address appears to be written on an envelope with the card. It arrived by post at my home the day before the incident that put me in hospital here. I have information regarding the deaths of Duncan Ross. What? Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. Who sent that? Wait a minute, the 17th of this month? That's the day. That's the day we're stabbed on Briar Road. And 5 p.m. It's precisely the time when the incident occurred. The Slug and Salad, yes, a pub on the northern corner of Briar Road. Briar Road being the street that Mr. Garda's house is on. Does this mean that... Yes, I'm sure you guessed that day when I was stuck in the back by the knife, I was actually on my way to Slug and Salad. Goodness. So that's what you're doing at Briar Road that day. I'm sorry I didn't say anything before. I think I really have to ask you to excuse me now. I've told you everything. Yes, I'm very sorry to have had to drag up such painful memories for you. No, it's fine. Miss Green. Please, promise us you won't try to do anything like that again. Yes, don't worry. Your detective friend has a bottle now anyway. And besides, I've been stabbed in the back, and as a cold shave with a bottle of poison, I'm still here. I think I'm destined to see things through to the end. It might sound a little conceited, but well, that's how all of this has made me feel. Leaving Miss Green and St. Bartholomew's behind, we made our way back to Baker Street with Mr. Sholmes. Oh wow, the background is so pretty. Well, it appears we reached the end of the investigative trail for today. Yes, it's late. And Mr. Naruhodo, did you discover anything that may be of use to you in court tomorrow, do you think? Details about Mr. Shamspeare, Mr. Garda's lodgings, the convict Selden. There are many facets to this case, and we're yet to see to the heart of it if you ask me. That's my feeling anyway. I can't help wondering about the results of the analysis. Into Mr. Natsume's tea, you mean? Yes, will they have found starch in it or not? Well, I fear that either way, it will be hard to escape the grip of our friend Mr. Grieper. Oh dear. Yes, Baruch Van Zeeks. But I wish you every success, of course, and though I was late to rise this morning. Tomorrow will be a new dawn. I intend to spring from my bed as crisp hour and attend the trial. Mr. Sholmes, you're going to come? Indeed, whatever happens, I shall be there. Assuming my eyelids will cooperate in the morning. Well, I think we've done all we can. All that's left is to remain focused and keep fighting for Mr. Natsume's cause to the very end. London, the world's most prosperous city, home to some 6 million people. But away from the razzle-dazzle, down back alleys and behind bricked-up windows, the lonely lurk. Soseki Sana battled long and hard with loneliness during his many months here, and so I felt honor-bound to battle equally hard for my compatriot to lift the curse that gripped him. As Mr. Sholmes said, tomorrow will be a new dawn for all of us. To be continued. Oh, I'm actually gonna continue. Save. This is it then, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, it's time to put an end to this now. To the miserable curse that has been plaguing Mr. Natsume, to everything. And in my own way, I should do everything I can to help you. I always appreciate your help, Mrs. Sato. Suffering, Soseki, selfishly, sideline! Good morning to you too, Mr. Natsume. Good morning! Good morning, local student, Mr. Naruhodo Squire! Listen to you two, chatting away happily as if the main player of today's trial isn't here. Why would you do that? Why? Oh dear, we didn't mean to cause offense, Mr. Natsume. I thought perhaps that because you had your eyes shut so tightly, you were meditating, finding inner calm. It seemed wrong to disturb you. I was waiting! What's the matter, Mr. Natsume? You seem different somehow today. Why, naturally, just because I've attained spiritual enlightenment. The pastoral literature, you see, is a journey to discover one's own death, or such like. That's the sort of morning conversations I'm hoping for. That's why I have my eyes shut. I missed the signs. I'm afraid somehow you have to forgive me. And you mustn't talk of your past leading you to your death, Mr. Natsume. That was just an example! Oh, yes, there it is. Inner calm. You barely came to see me at all yesterday. I'm sure you'd abandon me and return to our beautiful long-lost homeland. We're not even been in Great Britain a week yet. Yes, well, anyway. I intend to set everything straight in court today and determined to uncover the truth. I've actually reached an important decision myself. Oh? What sort of decision? I shall fill you in after the trial. Alright. It would seem. Mr. Sholmes is coming today after all. He's not a morning person, what can I say? It's a very clever message, I think. My dear fellows, you must win this battle on your own merits. It's a very clear message, I think. Daddy's overslept again. The great detective? My arch nemesis. Long may it stay away, if you ask me. They fight it, and your legal representative, the trial's about to begin, make a way to court. Today, once again, we face the Reaper, and when the Reaper stands for prosecution, the defendant's fate is sealed. But I don't believe in that legend any more than I believe in Soseki Sam's curse. The truth is hidden here somewhere. I won't let it escape me. I have to keep believing my client. I keep fighting to the very end. That's all. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I call upon the causes for prosecution and deepest is there to will needs to proceed. The prosecution is ready. Yes, the defense is ready. Very good. And now I call upon the 6 ladies and gentlemen of the jury, chosen by lot to represent the will of the people in this trial, are ready to proceed. Absolutely, just as we done in my words. I feel obliged to say I feel especially with this days of my hat is yeah. It's just the same. Oh wait, never mind. These deserves to die if you ask me, especially Gapsies. I have no sympathy for the man at all. Look, I said yesterday, I said again, I don't have time for this, got my own problems. Oh man, her lord shows all the light here leads to walk to righteous verdict again today, okay? Now, Lord Francis, what can you tell us? The prosecution's report, please, for the court. In relation to the theory expounded by the defense yesterday regarding the defendant's tea. The tea! Spill the tea, Francis! So he does have the results. before the prosecution delivers the black news about the black tea belonging to the black guard and the dog. Pray, allow me a moment to savor a liquid of a more sanguine hue. In fact, I'll defer to the good detective for the report. Here's to you, Inspector. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. As indicated by defense, he found a bar soap just outside the victim's window in the snow. And there was indeed a frozen reddish liquid and a little depression on top of it. Yes, that's the tea! That's what Mr. Natsume brought with him that night. Well, the brains at the art analyzed it, and yes, you're right, it was tea. And there wasn't a trace of starch dye or any other toxic substance in it. No poison at all. In other words, the tea that the defendant brought with him to the victim's court is innocent, instant and clear. What a revelation! As I suspected. This makes it quite clear. The defendant, Mr. Soseki. My learned friend is jumping to conclusions again. A typical Nipponese reaction. What? Yes, it's true. No poison was found and a few drops of liquid recovered from the soap on the window ledge. But what logic is that? Would you take a drop on the Thames and conclude that the water in the ocean is salty? My word, the water in the ocean is extremely salty, Counsel. Exactly, until unfit for drinking, just as the victim's tea was not denying question, as the court has already heard. Bitter was the precise word for the lips of Mr. William Shamspeare, whom the prosecution now calls back to the stand. Very well, I've uphold the prosecution's request. Mr. Shamspeare, yes, it sounds like we're going to have another confrontation with our theatrical friend. Ballot, show Mr. Shamspeare to stand. This freaking guy. Mr. William Shamspeare, the victim of a despicable crime. Oh heaven, oh hell, do you command me to remember? Forsooth, 'twas I, Shamspeare, did have a bellyful of the foul fluid given in mine innocence. Yes, but as was relevant in yesterday's proceedings, the witness is not innocent as we have perhaps first been led to believe. By using bars of soap such as this, he has been stealing gas from the supply company, yes. One may smile and be a villain. Forsooth, 'twas I, Shamspeare, did have a room full of the sleep fuel given. That's right, fellow jurors, don't forget, this man is a rotten thief. I haven't forgotten, kept all the ice coins a titty secret, didn't you? Should have owned up sooner. Arrest him, I say, arrest him at once, and let him feel the sting in my tail. Oh, indeed, by dint of vile cowardly means have I plotted to further mine own ends, I confess, though it was not part of my sins, of that I am sure. If you acknowledge your wrongdoing, what is that you're doing here? Cowards die many times before their deaths, and for a coward such as I, death be well deserved, but would it that a still greater crime passes unpunished? For lo, the hairy-faced gentleman of farther east and Verona to contrive to poison me. Oh my god, what is this dance? His dances just keep evolving. But there's no poison in tea found in your room. The police have attested that. What the defense would assert as inconsistency will quickly be cleared up by the witness's testimony. Is that not so, Mr. Shamspeare? Verily, my liege, I must gladly speak. Very well. Tell the court why is it the poison apparently entered your body, though none was found in the tea. Alright, Shamspeare. Let's listen to your lies. The Japanese man did come to my chamber with tea brewed in a pot. 'Twas in my cup alone that the wicked miscreant secretly poured his wicked poison. Whilst feigning distraction in our debate, ne'er did a drop of his own drink pass his lips. When he departed by and by, I did use the tea that remained in his cup to make my coins of ice. Thus, 'tis no surprise that the poison be not found in the tea I did pour in the molds of soap. So you're saying it was only in your cup? The poison was slipped into the cup after the tea had been poured. The normal way for poison to be administered, in my experience. Quite. Otherwise, it'd be disastrous if poison were to mix up the cups, for instance. But no poison bottle was found at the scene. Because, quite simply, the Nipponese took the bottle back to his own room. The absence of a vessel containing the poison only becomes problematic when considering suicide. Ugh, I knew that. By now, it should be perfectly clear. A bar or two of cheap soap is wholly insufficient to wash the deep stains of guilt from the accused's hands. Ah, sirs, madams, 'tis true that I, Shamspeare, be a common thief of gas. But, listen here, ladies and gentlemen. This guy scares me a little. Wherefore would I lie? Verily have no cause, I have naught to lose. Well, I do declare. Thank you for your testimony, witness. Counsel, proceed with a cross-examination. Yes, my lord. Okay. The plan is the same as always. Just press each statement and try to look for inconsistencies in it. Do I know thee or know thee not? Methinks 'tis all I can now know that my destiny mingles with mine. You lost me at the first D. Zounds, sir! Thou must learn the English tongue afore thou turns thy hand to lowering. I did, but I must have missed the archaic Elizabethan lecture. I mean, nobody even speaks like you, Shakespeare. Just speak in common English instead of Shakespearean English. Jesus Christ. And you're just like, oh, good study English. Barely, and in truth, 'twas a fine flavored brew. Though a drop of poison did bar with sweetness, as the torn dawn bars the sweet rose. That, my dear friends, be the simple truth. Listen to Mr. Shamspeare. He seems to be in even better form than he was yesterday. Either that or I'm in worse form. That fated evening after I did dine at Grubscubbery, a local alehouse of good report. Gosh, he's such a clown.
Hold it!
The witness had more than one brush with death on the night in question, it would seem. Remind the court, Mr. Shamspeare, as to whether the accused drank any of the tea which he brought with him. Okay, I'll just be reading through his lies.
Hold it! Hold it!
Face to treat be the wise choice, and mine occupations be not an ugly one. Prithee, though not see beauty in the simplicity of the ruse. No, I don't, and be very sure, sir, once this trial is over, ultimate gas will take you to task over this legal task. What? I shall not run, I shall not hide. Sooth to say, I have nowhere to run, nor to hide. But, my lady, what wouldst thou with this pitiful prayer? Oh, I'll tell you what I like to do with you, starting with the shoddy shirt on your back. 'Tis time for a Shamspeare dance! What a harsh world we live in. The thief and the gas is addressed in yesterday's proceedings. The prosecution calls on the defense not to muddy the waters of irrelevancy. Consider that a warning, counsel. Yes, my lord. Wow, I can't even press statements. Why am I in trouble here, really? Is that correct? To cheat or to die. Yeah, you sure did.
Hold it!
Everyone has different preferences when it comes to tea. I think you might have interpreted that wrongly. So it's proven that there's no poison in Soseki-san's tea. That would be huge in our favor. But the honesty in the courtroom today. It feels as though everyone is against us, Mr. Naruhodo. It must be the Reaper's poison. I'm afraid if we don't find any significant flaw in his testimony somewhere, the jury will pounce to find Mr. Natsume guilty. It really feels like we jumped into the fire here. Alright.
Objection!
You claim that Mr. Natsume didn't drink a drop of tea in the night in question. But that's impossible. How? Chop logic, what is this, you dark, you cod fiend? The two tickets from the scene, one used by the victim and the other by the defendant, have a clear difference between them. One that represents incontrovertible proof, the tea rings. Incontrovertible? What difference? Look at the inside of the cups. Just here, there's a clearly visible ring. Yes, a tea ring. Commonplace enough. Indeed, such days occur all throughout one leaves tea in the cup for a while. And yet, Mr. Natsume's cup has no such ring. Good lord, you're right. It's completely clean, so he drank it first. And pretty sir, what's Stowe make of it? He drank the tea first. Exactly what Mr. Natsume told the court yesterday. The Japanese saying he quoted. Drink tea? Wow, it's hot. That's right, yes. The jittery Mr. Natsume was true to his usual self that night and drank his tea in no time. If, as he claimed in your testimony, he didn't touch a drop of his tea, a ring would have developed on the inside of his cup as well after the several hours the tea was left standing. But, in short, Mrs. Shamspeare, you clearly lied to the court. Get thee to nunnery!
Objection!
As a rule, I fill my hair with chalice up to 7 times during any one trial. You might want to keep that information to yourself. Yet, on occasion, tedium distracts me as I pour more times than I intended until the bottle is dry. Your drinking habits are fascinating but irrelevant. On the contrary, they illustrate the fickleness of human memory. To William Shakespeare. Yes, my liege? Though you previously stated that you made the coins of ice from the leftover tea in the accused cup, could it be that you're perhaps mistaken? Eh? Could it be that, yes, perhaps there's some tea remaining in a small teapot left at the scene? A fact that has vanished from your memory until now. Oh, face, my liege, thou art a magician! For verily, this is Stowe has seen with thine eyes own eyes that night. Gosh, I hate the way he says his sentences. What? Forsooth, I was mistook. I did plan to use tea from the Japanese fellow's cup, but lo, when I looked, it was empty, and thus did I use the dregs that festered in the teapot, as my liege just suggests. And you just suddenly remember now that you made a mistake before? Are we supposed to believe that? People's memories are imperfect, my learned friend, which is why I rely on evidence instead. But in any case, it makes no difference. The victim's most recent testimony tells us 2 things of note. Firstly, that the poison was put into the victim's teacup only, and secondly, that the spoiled cup was not the source of insipid ice coins that bewitched this court. The prosecution makes a fine summary of the facts. Furthermore, that testimony remains valid and in full support of established facts, in other words. Oh, he's ready to go. The inconsistency claimed by the defense simply does not exist. No. What does this mean then? I do declare there means no issue to Gassie's testimony apart from the bit about thieving gas, obviously. My awards, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I do solemnly swear that I did dine at Grove Scrubbery Ale House that night. Not the possible list, but a black tea given me by the Japanese, whose back bestooped as low as death. Anna, what did you dine, sir? Why, I did partake of my favorites, a broth as would be called soup, and a leaf as would be called salad. As insalubrious as a menu as establishment was served. But you gods will give us some thoughts to make us men. Well, give what I suffer, what punishment to seem fit to serve a wicked gossip thief. But I pray ye, wise and noble fellows, ne'er forget the simple truths. I hate the way you're saying. I hate reading this. That be one thing, and this be another. Jurors all, your humble servant Shamspeare does entreat you. Punish the Japanese fellow for his sins. My lord! If I may speak, my lord. Oh, yes, Mr. Foreman. I believe me been duped by the rotten defense lawyer. By me? I do declare me to be right. Well, whoops. We all may know the whack there was making coins of ice to keep us warm. But this lawyer realizes he's stealing gas. He deserves a dose of poison, eh? He's leading us up to the garden path. That's what he's doing. I really never said anything like that. But what we just heard from the victim here is open our eyes again. We've reached a decision this time. I won't be swayed from it. Oh boy, another witness testimony. I mean, not witness testimony. Summation examination. Ladies and gentlemen, jury, you'll state your decisions now.
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Oh, happy day! How is this happening? My lord, the defense is decided to carry out a summation examination. Very well, the court upholds the defense's right. Typical. My learned friend is unable to accept the obvious truths. This trial will therefore enter a second summation examination immediately. Jurors, the court calls upon each of you to state the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime which is charged. Alright guys, I think that'll be it for part 7 of the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. Next time, part 8, we're gonna be going through a summation examination again for this trial. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.